Hey folks, it's me again. So, you know how just earlier I was driving the Subaru XV, which happened to be the first video in my YouTube. If you scroll down all the way to my YouTube page, you'll see the first video is a Subaru XV painted sun-kissed orange. Okay, that's not the actual classification, okay? I made that up myself. It's not called sun-kissed orange. I don't know, it's orange something, but it looks like a sun-kissed orange, so I called it sun-kissed orange. Anyway, I've just picked up its big brother. Yes, and it's another revisit because Motor Image were kind enough to take me to Taiwan for the launch and drive of the Subaru Forester, and that's what I'm driving. So, if the XV was the younger brother, this is the bigger brother. Now, this is a proper SUV. I'm not saying the XV wasn't. The XV to me is more of a crossover. Even though it's got four-wheel drive, and yes, it's classified as an SUV, the XV is more like a crossover because it's about the size of a passenger car. You know, even the riding height, yeah, see, I missed my bike. Even the driving height is a bit lower than a regular SUV, whereas this one, I'm sitting pretty high. This is a proper SUV, and this is another revisit because I've already done the video on this car. If you scroll down through my videos, I did a few of them in Taiwan actually, for the Subaru Forester, and it's nice to meet you again. I mean, it really is. I mean, it's really cool that, you know, you drive these cars overseas during the launch, and then you come back to Malaysia and you drive these cars on your home turf, and you see how they feel, because of course road conditions and environment and climate, everything is different when you are overseas. So you got to get a feel of this car when it's here, and I love doing that. I've done it a few times actually, where I drive the car overseas and then I come back and I drive it here, and you find interesting characteristics about the car that you didn't feel before. Exactly is what's happening here. Exactly what's happening here. Okay, everybody knows Malaysian roads are less than perfect. They're not so great. Some roads are good, but there are still some roads in Malaysia that really need a makeover, like badly need a makeover. Okay, I'm talking like a freaking Kardashian makeover. But typical Subaru, built for the outback. I mean, obviously this car is very popular in Australia, where they use it both on the road and, you know, in the outback, which we would call off-road, and it just laps it up. So again, as with the with the XV, the suspension system in this car is brilliant. It really is. And now I'm not saying go ahead and trash it over bumps and you know, make a mess of things, but no, drive it normally. And even when you come to roads that are less than perfect, I've stopped now, so just in case you're wondering why I'm not holding the steering wheel, you can see I've stopped. Just in case you feel like, you know, maybe you shouldn't, yes you can. So this thing has got X mode, just like the XV. It's got X mode. It's got even a crawl button down here, where if you're crawling over really rough terrain, you need to hit that button. If you're going up slopes, you've got the X mode. Off-road, you've got the X mode. So it is an all-wheel drive system. There's even a graph up there that tells you which wheels are getting the power, and it's very well equipped. And this is one of those SUVs that you know it's a proper SUV because you can use it on road, and I would say what, 90%, 99, 98% of the time you're going to use it on road. But on that rare occasion you find yourself, hey, let's go for a picnic somewhere where there's a waterfall, you know, a rolling brook or a stream, you know that this thing will take you there. I'm not saying it's going to go for a hardcore event. Now, forget it, okay? There are parameters where you have to understand certain things are okay for it to be done, some things are not. This would probably be able to handle a light to possibly even a medium core off-road terrain. I would dare venture that, because I did take a Volvo XC70 cross-country off-road once. Nobody in their right mind would have done that, but because Volvo at the time, Federal Auto Cars, was saying that this car can be taken off-road, I did, and it worked. It worked really well. I crossed streams with it, I climbed up slopes with it, so there is no reason that this Forester would not be able to do that as well. I would love to try, and if I get a chance, you know I would. I just picked it up. So like I said, it's a revisit. You must, if you are looking for SUVs in your life right now, if your family is growing and you need more space, and maybe you want that comfort of sitting slightly up high, where, you know, you can see above most cars, and you have to go and have a look at this. You have to go and have a test drive of this. It is very well put together. It is nicely appointed. Lots of creature comforts. Again, like the XV I just returned, NVH is brilliant. You know, it's just really, really nice in here. I don't like the gearbox. I didn't like it in Taiwan. I still don't like it today. I don't even want to say it. There's those 3 letters that begin with C and end with T. What other words begin with C and end with T? Anyway, yeah. So it gets a little bit noisy when you hit it hard. And I wouldn't say it's lethargic. It's much, much better and quieter than the one that's in the Proton Iris. The previous Proton Iris, I haven't gotten the new Proton Iris yet. I'm dying to, actually, because Proton themselves said that they have improved the CVT gearbox, and so I'm dying to try that one. But this one's a lot better. It's still a CVT, which is not my most favorite gearbox in the world. I'll be very honest with that. I'm not a fan of CVTs except the one in my scooter. And like I said, CVTs only belong in scooters. I don't think they belong in cars. But this one is proving itself to be quite okay. Quite okay. I'm quite happy with it. Now, I did mention in Taiwan in my previous video that the low-end torque, I was worried about the low-end torque because if I remember correctly, it's less than 200. And for torque, that's a little bit low. For horsepower, it's okay. You know, 200 horsepower, who doesn't want that? But for torque, it's a little bit low. However, now that I'm driving this one, which has got 25,805 kilometers on it, on its odometer, the engine's nicely run in. It's loosened up a little bit. The low-end torque is a lot better than what I remember when it was back in Taiwan. Sorry, there was a very, very nice E36 there, blue color just now. Wherever you are in Kampung Tungku, nice car. Anyway, where was I? I digress. Okay, so yeah, maybe the engine's loosened up a little bit, and you know, it's gotten more worn in. Feels a lot better. It really does. I'm dying to actually take this out on the highway. I'm in B roads right now, but I reckon it's loosened up nicely. And yeah, so let's see how that goes. In the meantime, now, okay, I'll be very honest with you. Actually, I've always been very honest with you. I tell it like it is. I don't like it, I say I don't like it, okay? All that stuff I just mentioned about power and torque and blah, 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 you know, it really doesn't matter for the end buyer for this Subaru. It would matter if you were buying a WRX or something like that, but it wouldn't really matter for this, really. Because, honestly, if you're going to use this car in town and for regular daily use and the occasional out of town, how much top speed do you want? I mean, if that's the case, you know, to buy this as a family car, then save up and buy a Golf GTI for your Sunday drives. So, you know, everybody's always harping about, you know, how much power does it have, how much torque does it have, blah, blah, blah. But for certain cars, yes, I agree. It, can you hear the gearbox? Now, that's actually could be the engine. So, again, I think it would be a lot more powerful, or feel a lot more powerful, if it wasn't for this CVT. If it was just a regular gearbox with a torque converter, I think it would really be a lot nicer. It gets there, but it takes a while to get there. Do you feel that? Okay, I'm trying to get you the feeling of this car. But like I said, just before I took that corner, all that really doesn't matter, because you're not gonna drive this thing like your tail is on fire and the devil is chasing you all the time. No, this car was not built for that. Okay, it was built very well and it's got four-wheel drive, but it's not a performance car like the first generation Subaru Forester. That one was a fire-breathing monster. That was more a sports wagon, you know, than an SUV. And I still see some of those running around and they're quite impressive. I heard something ridiculous like they only get like 200 kilometers per full tank. So let me flatten the accelerator to the floor. You know what? It's there. It wants to. It really wants to rip your face off, but it can't, because I think it's being let down by this gearbox. You could see it just now. It's like, what I want, but it's just. So hey, there you go. Sound effects. Thank you. Yeah, I do sound effects as well. No, I don't. and I really should stop. Anyway, I'm gonna drive this car a little bit more, and you know what? I like it. You know, I don't like the gearbox, but the rest of it is great. And if I remember correctly, I said the same damn thing when I tested it in Taiwan. So, but suspension wise, the way it soaks up the bumps, the way you can just bash it over rumble strips and stuff like that, it's just, you know, it's built to take a beating. It's built to take a beating. That's a good tagline. Subaru, built to take a beating. How's that? Not too bad, eh? Okay, so anyway, gonna be a busy day today. Got lots of stuff coming up, and so stay tuned. And let me just get back to you as soon as possible. I need to drive this a little bit more. You know, I want to like this car 100%, but right now this gearbox is just pissing me off. But hey, no car's ever perfect. See ya.